Okay, so today we are moving on to that last part of how to factor, and that's looking at patterns. Okay, so do you remember these patterns? We talked about them when we were talking about multiplying polynomials. If I were you, I would write down those patterns so that you have them. So the first set that we're going to look at are called perfect square trinomials, and that's the first set of patterns. Now you'll notice that these are written backwards. That's because we're going to start with this as the question, and we will write this as the answer. Notice the difference is just simply the plus or the minus. So let's take a look. How do we decide if it's a perfect square trinomial? Well, in order to be a perfect square trinomial, the first number must be squared. Let's do it with a's. A squared. And the last number must be squared. And if you recall, the middle number has to be double the first number times the second number. So the first thing we're going to do is check. Is this a number squared? Yes. It's 5x squared. Is this a number squared? Yes. It's 3 squared. Now we have to check the middle part. Is 5x times 3 times 2 this number? It is. Okay, so that means this is a perfect square trinomial. Let's look at the second one. Is this a number squared? Yep. Is this a number squared? Yep. Is this times this times 2? No. So it's not a perfect square trinomial. Why don't you try the last one on your own? Is this a number squared? Yep. Is this a number squared? Yep. Is this the same as this times 2? Nope. Not a perfect square trinomial. So once you determine if it's a perfect square trinomial, then you can factor it. So let's talk about factoring these. This is a perfect square trinomial. We've got 5x and 2. And 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20. So it's a perfect square trinomial. So remember, if you have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, you will write it as a plus b squared. So the a is 5x plus the b is 2 squared. Pretty easy, right? All right. This is a number squared, x. This is a number squared, 6. This times 2 is 12. So it is a perfect square trinomial. So x minus 6 squared. Done. That's your final answer. Pretty easy, right? Try these two on your own. So this is 4x squared, and this is y squared. And 4x times y times 2 is 8. So it is a perfect square trinomial. And that's how we factor it. This is a number squared. And this is a number squared. And this times 2 is negative 4. So 2m squared minus 1 squared. Super. There's one other type of pattern. And if you recall, that's when you have a squared minus b squared. And it's written as a plus and a minus. If you recall, that's because the middle term disappears. So remember, a squared, minus b squared, come on, having troubles with my pen, a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. Okay, so is that a number squared? Yep. Is that a number squared? Yep. Is that a minus? Yep. So it's x plus 3, x minus 3. Remember, you could check to make sure that works. How do you check it? You FOIL it out. Is that a number squared? Yep. Is that a number squared? Yep. Is it a minus? Yep. 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Pretty easy. You try these on your own. That's a number squared. That's a number squared. And it's a minus. 6a plus 7b, 6a minus 7b. Now, is that a number squared? It's not. Remember to go back to our steps for factoring. And the first thing that we should always test for is a GCF. In this case, we have a GCF of x. So we're going to factor out the x first. Now, is that a number squared? Yes. Is that a number squared? Yes. Is that a subtraction? Yes. So we keep the x on the outside. We've got 2x plus 7 and 2x minus 7. And that's your final answer. So why don't you do some practice on My Math Lab? I hope that you get this finished in class today.